Thanks for joining in. I'll be doing some tactics now, and there are not two people join in, so I'm not sure how long would be the stream, but I hope you will enjoy and learn. All right. Sorry for technical difficulties. I don't know what is going on with the YouTube. I'm pressing start, and it just takes lots of seconds to go. So I'm gonna do Lee chess tactics. Again, like last time, I would emphasize that this is not the best way to do tactics. The best way to do tactics is over the board, taking your time, trying to figure out the position, and then write down the solution. That is the best way to treat a tactical puzzle. All right, nevertheless, but you can learn from this one as well. So count the pieces first. Black is one pawn down. The bishop on b3 is hanging, the rook on h7 is hanging, the queen on d4 is undefended, rook on a1 is undefended, and what is really important here, the king is exposed to checks. So the obvious move is king h7, but rook h1 would lead to a mate on literally on second move, and mate on h8 is coming, so we need an intermediate move, so we give a check first. And now what is very funny, the king was here, it either has to go back, blocking the first rank, or it has to go forward, blocking the h file. Now I just take the rook, and that is the win. 1 point for me. By the way, you're welcome to ask questions and let me know if there's any problem with the transmission whatsoever. All right, same story here. White is one pawn up. The knight on c5 is semi-protected. And the queen from b4 can barely move. That's a very huge sign of a tactical attack. And what forcing move do white have? a5, rook c4, that's pretty much it. a5 doesn't make much sense. Black has lots of options, but rook c4 forces the queen away. If queen takes b2, I just take and take the knight. And if queen goes to a5, what do I do then? Let me see. There should be something very crushing. I can include a5 first and then go rook c4. Oh wow, that's a nice solution. I said that a5 doesn't make sense, but now I see why it makes sense. It takes away the square from the queen. And rook from b6 has no good place to go. So when I play a5, the only sensible move with the rook is rook to b5. And now rook to c4. It seems knight on c5 is so well protected, but it's not. The queen has no place to go. It has to capture. So let's see. a5, rook b5, rook c4, queen b2, takes and takes. Wow, that, 11 points. Score. I'm approaching my 2900 ELO. That's an ELO, that's just a rating. All right, so it was tricky because you have to include a5 first and see the difference. All right, white is one piece down for one pawn, which is almost the queen. The rook on f5 is semi-protected, the king is exposed, there's a pin. What forcing moves do white have? Good looking forcing moves. I would say rook e7 is a good looking forcing move because I want to take, and if black takes, I take with the pawn and the pawn can promote. And I can push d7, and I do have rook d5 move, attacking the rook. All right, so I don't see an obvious solution here. So let's see, if I go d7, what's going to happen on d7? What moves do black have? I really don't see. The pawn is just going. If rook takes, I give a check and take even more. d7 looks crushing to me. So, but let's reject all the other options. Rook d5, attacking the rook. All right. What can black do? Black can go king g6 and protect the rook, or black can try going queen f4, but then I take, and d7 and bishop f6 stops my pawn. So I would say rook d5 I reject because of queen f4. And I don't see a direct win because the bishop can stop it. And I reject rook e7 just because black has too many options. The rook can move, black can move the queen to f4, the same logic, so I'm just gonna go ahead and go d7. Queen g1. Okay, that's a nice forcing move. Black wants to take my pawn on f2 and harass my king, but I can just promote the queen. Queen takes f2, king goes to d1, all the rooks are still pinned. So I don't see a problem with promoting the queen. Let me see. Queen f2, king d3 or king d1. I don't see a problem with either of the moves. All the pieces are pinned. I'm just going to promote. Yes, 1 point for me. not too instructive, but there are several moves to consider, which I find quite useful in a puzzle. If there's like only one move that people are, which is obvious, I don't like that kind of puzzle. I like positions where there are several moves to consider. All right, where's my queen side? It's gone. Maybe it was King's Indian. Let me see. No, it was some regular Queen's Gambit. Declined. All right, so black has 2 pawns down, but h2 pawn is almost the queen. Everything is protected. We just need to get to this guy on h1. So what forcing moves do black have? I have rook g6 with a threat rook g1. I'm inclined in that direction because queen h2 check, I come back to h6, and so 1 is here, and all the other moves with the rook don't make sense to me. So what forcing moves they have with the queen? It's queen g3 with the threat of queen g1. That looks or queen g5, maybe keeping an eye on that rook. All right, so which one do I choose? If I choose rook g6, it's rook d1, and then I keep going queen g3, and I don't think there's any good defense from that one. Okay, again, several options are available, which makes this one not easy at all. Let me see. If I go queen g3, my king is not vulnerable, so what can white do? Queen g1 is coming. There's queen f1 and queen g2 loses. Queen f1 or queen d1, both look ridiculous actually. Queen f1 with the idea of rook g2, that's the one. Queen f1, I can follow up with rook f6. Rook f6, rook h2 check loses. So I like queen g3 and I like rook g6. Wow, this is difficult. This one is okay. I reject rook g6 because queen h2, rook h6, queen takes h6, pawn takes h6. I don't have d6. Sorry if you hear any screams. Those are my children in the other room. Quarantine, guys. Stay home, stay safe, by the way. Wash your hands. All right. I don't see a solution. I do not see... Queen g3 looks very promising to me. Queen g3. But I don't see what's wrong with rook g6. On rook g6, it seems that rook d1 is the only move. So how do I follow up? I follow up with queen g3. Now queen g1 is a huge threat. And white should go queen f1, which seems like the only move again. And what's my follow-up? Rook f6, queen g2. No, I don't see a follow-up. Interesting. Interesting. So okay. What if I go queen g3 now? Queen g3. So what moves do white have? Queen f1, I go rook f6 and that's it. Queen g2, queen e1 check. That's the win. Rook f6, if queen goes on the first rank, I can come back. Ah, no, queen g3, queen f1, rook f6, queen d1, rook h2 is hanging. Oh my goodness, this is hard. This is queen g3 seems most logical to me, but it's really hard to calculate such variations when I have to talk out loud and keep you interested. Let me know if any of you. How about queen g4? What's that? Queen g5, you mean, I guess. Queen g5 with the threat queen g1, but I don't like queen g2 as well as rook d1. I don't like both options. So queen g3 looks very promising. Rook g6 looks a little bit artificial to me, but after rook g6, the only move is this one, although maybe giving up the queen is not that bad, and then pushing the d pawn. Rook g6, rook d1, queen g3, queen f1, and I just need one more move, which would be something like queen e3. I'm gonna go rook g6 because it looks very good. Ah! All right. Yeah. Yes, you meant queen g5, but that was not good. And now rook h6, king h1. No checks, nothing. I just take. And of course I move my king. 3 points, really? Okay, I'm gonna analyze a little bit because rook g6 is the only move that wins. Wow. And rook d1, I was playing queen g3, and on queen f1, I was playing queen e3. So that was correct. Rook g1 is unstoppable. And what if queen g3? I didn't see queen f2. Of course, queen f2 with a tempo. That's a good forcing move for white. Yeah, okay. So I got lucky a little bit here, but it's not that easy to even spot rook g6. I got lucky because I spotted relatively quickly. All right. All right, one more. What's going on here? White is one piece down, but the attack is strong. Knight on e6 semi-protected, h7 semi-protected. The king is exposed to checkmate threats like this. What else? b5 semi-protected, b7 undefended. I don't care about that. All right, so how do we just have queen, pawn, and knight in the attack? That doesn't look like enough to me. So what forcing moves do I have? H takes g and knight g5. That's pretty much it. I don't see any other forcing move. So h takes g7 leaves black with multiple options, so I don't like it for now. I like knight g5. So if knight takes g5, it's queen takes g5, and basically that's mate, because if g6, queen f6, that's a typical way to give checkmate. So on knight g5, black would have to go g6, and I would continue with, let's say, queen f6, and it seems to me that knight e6 is unstoppable. I don't see a defense from knight to e6. All right, but let me briefly check h takes g7. H takes g7 removes my very strong attacker, and king g7, I think I should settle for perpetual. So I'm gonna go knight g5, g6, queen f6, knight takes d6. That's a desperate attempt. So let's see. If knight takes e6, knight takes e6 looks like a win. The problem with e takes d6 is queen takes c3, throwing my queen away. So it's knight e6, knight e8. And what do? I take the queen, or do I have anything better? No, it's enough to take here and take here. That was a good one. I like that one. All right. One more. Oh, okay, this was some Najdorf? No. Okay, this is taken from Just Blitz games, so it's basically Stockfish going through the games and finding a moment where only one move leads to a win, and at least two moves. One move, it's never one move. All right, my queen is hanging. We have same number of pieces, so I just have to take the knight. What I just take with the knight and then take with the bishop. What's this? Knight takes f4. That's it? That's all? Okay. Queen c2, queen c2. That's all they wanted to see, that the pawn on e5 is overloaded. Well, that was not hard, even though there are many pieces. Oh, this is Benoni. Ah, but bishop d7, knight bd7, e5 is working, but this one apparently, knight g8, that's horrible, e6. All right, so king is exposed to checks, the bishop on b5 is semi-protected, and knight on c3 is semi-protected. So I can win the piece right now, give check and takes, but I give very important bishop away. So I would also briefly check bishop takes b5, knight takes b5, queen a5 check, knight back to c3, I don't win anything. I win just one pawn. So the solution would be, I also have queen h4 check if I need one. So I can give a check here, and then I also have, if I go queen h4 now, g3, queen e4, that could also be a win. So let me see. So I take. Either I take now or I give check on h4 first. What do I do? So if I take and bishop takes b5, I keep an option of the check. I like that more. And my queen is close to my king. E takes f7, king takes f7. Ooh, that's the problem. Ah, nice. Bishop takes c3. Don't forget about your own problems, right? Whether it's chess or any other aspect of your life. Bishop c3, pawn takes, bishop b5, e takes f7, which is semi-protected, king takes f7. Oh my goodness, I thought queen b3 was a check. I thought queen b3 was a check to f7 and take my bishop, but the pawn is still in d5. So the solution goes bishop takes, pawn takes, and takes, or queen h4. So let me see the difference. Is there any difference? Oh yes, there is a magnificent difference. If I give check on h4, g3, queen e4, check, queen e2, attacking my queen. If I take the queen, bishop comes back and saves the bishop. If I take the rook, the queen is on e2, and after e d7 I lose. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take the full piece. All right. Black is 2 pawns up. The knight on b5 is hanging. I definitely have to take it. So white probably planned rook b1 and probably overlooked that bishop takes e2 would work, and queen takes e2, just queen moves somewhere. And then queen b5 check looks promising, so I would not stop yet. Bishop takes b5, rook b1, bishop e2, queen e2. I need to move the queen somewhere. I'm not sure where. a3, a2, d4, maybe d4, centralizing it. Queen b5 check. I don't have a good place to go with my king. I don't like that. All right. If I go to d8, there's queen b7 coming and bishop a5 coming and f7 is hanging. Hold on a second. Do I have any other forcing moves except bishop b5? Not really. My queen is basically trapped on next move is bishop c3. So in a real game, by method of elimination, I would just go bishop b5, rook b1. I would just, oh, queen takes b1. Ooh, that's a nice one. The queen is overloaded. Queen takes b1, bishop takes e2, queen, so I have rook and two pieces. Queen takes b7, takes important pawn, and I, let's say, play, my rook is hanging. I can just take that rook and come with the knight to d8 and slowly develop my pieces. I think that would be the solution. If that's the solution, I like it. So I'm gonna take it, rook b1, and I'm gonna spend, so I have two lines here. I can give up the queen or play bishop e2, queen e2, but then I don't really see how to handle queen b5 check. Where do I move my queen? If I move it to d4, it's queen b5 check. King e7 is ridiculous, queen b7, so it's king d8, and queen b7 attacking my rook, attacking my knight, threatening bishop a5. I think I'm just lost there. So if I take queen takes, it seems to me that I'm losing. Queen a3, for example, queen b5 again, king d8, queen a6, and the queen b7, nothing has changed. So I have to give up the queen. Let me calculate further. Bishop e2. If rook e1, I just come back to a6, and I protect everything. And if queen takes b7, if I go rook d8, there's some queen c6 check, e6 is hanging. I don't like it. So I don't see a solution. I do not see a decent solution here. Huh. Where's the solution? Queen takes b7, bishop takes f1, queen c6 check, and at least a perpetual for white. So after queen takes b7, I have to go rook d8, queen c6 check, I have to go rook d7. If queen e6 check, I go bishop to e7, then rook is joining. But then maybe I'll slowly untangle pieces. So by method of elimination, I would just go queen takes b1. Queen takes b1. Because I don't see a defense after bishop e2, queen e2. Queen b5 check looks enormously strong to me. I don't see what I can do. But giving up the queen is usually very... Oh, queen takes b7, I go knight d8. Ooh, that's deep. What? So I take, queen takes, bishop takes e2, queen takes b7. Since I don't like check, I have intermediate move knight d8, which I plan to do anyway. Queen takes a8, bishop takes f1, and if bishop to a5, I get bishop e7, and I would slowly untangle. All right. Wrong. Damn it. Oh, apologies. Pardon my French. Where did I get it wrong? View the solution. Okay. Bishop to e2, queen to e2. Oh my goodness, this is queen c2, queen b5. I have queen c6. I completely forgot about that move, but I was sure that there would be an intermediate move like this, but then I have this one. Oh, that's nice. And I cover everything. Oh, I did not see that one. This should be in a practical chess defense book. Okay, and let's see where I got this one wrong. Takes, bishop e2. What is the best move for white? Yes, queen b7, I was right about that. Knight d8 only move, which is very important to see in advance. Queen takes a8, bishop f1. Yeah, now Stockfish gives... Well, Stockfish is wrong about the queen, but even if Stockfish prefers black, it means that black is doing very fine. And it's also very important to see that there's move bishop e7 and there's nothing going on for white, and castle would happen soon. So, but what is the better move? Rook to e1 and e6 is hanging. Ah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we all forget about our own problems. I forgot that my pawn on e6 was undefended because it didn't seem relevant. But yeah, e takes f6, very strong attack. I cannot take rook e6, long castle. That's nice. Rook takes e6. Okay, this is very difficult. So at least I was not losing, but queen to c2, such a relatively simple defense. All right, minus 30 points of rating. I did so many green. How many did I score? Well, a little more than 30. Here we go again. Yeah, occasionally they could be very difficult. I wonder how much would I score if I get it right. I could check the rating of previous puzzle. Anyway, what's this? Same material. Problems for black. King is basically checkmated. h7, c2, f8. Problems for white. Back rank problem. Queen undefended, bishop semi-protected, rook unprotected. All right. Where do I go from here? What forcing moves do I have? Moving the bishop doesn't make sense because rook takes f1. And although maybe it does just move the bishop if, let's say, bishop to b3 or something. Bishop to b3. Wow, if that's the solution, that's a brilliant backward move. Bishop to b3, and if queen takes b1, rook takes b1, queen takes f1, rook g8 is the threat, and bishop takes c2 is the threat, and queen f8 is the threat. So if bishop b3 is the solution, I would just applaud. But hold on a second. Let me try to just attack h7. What if I go rook h5, for example? How do black handle that? Rook takes f7. Seems like the only option. I don't see anything else. Rook f7. Rook takes f7. Now I have a back rank problem. Let's say rook c1, rook back to f1. And I win some material. All right, so rook h5 looks very promising because I just don't see a defense except rook f7. Moving the bishop, nothing. Moving the rook, literally nothing. Moving the queen, they literally cannot help with queen h7 threat. So yeah, rook f7, and some back rank issues. How h7 is still made, rook c1, rook f1. Yeah, I think that's a dull solution. Just attack it. Just attack the pawn. But let me find what is wrong with my bishop back to b3. Bishop back to b3. So f8 rook is hanging and rook on c2 is hanging. Rook f1 looks logical. Queen f1 and rook c1, it's rook g8 mate. Queen b3, it's queen f8 mate. So bishop b3 also looks like a win to me. Bishop b3, rook c to c8. That's the way to handle both threats. Rook c to c8. And now I don't see a win. I can keep going with, yeah, now my queen would be distracted. Rook c to c8 would be a solution. So rook h5 it is. Too bad. Bishop b3 would be a great puzzle. 2 points of rating. Thank you so much. Let me check. If I go bishop to b3, rook f1, queen f1, and rook back to c8 also works. Okay. Oh, really? Literally mate in 2? Whatever black is doing? Wow, that doesn't look like mate in 2 to me. Usually there are some desperate things you can do to save the game. All right, so rook c1 is also working. Of course, rook c1, yeah. Okay. Yeah, too bad bishop b3 didn't work. One more. One more, what's this? One piece down, e6 is hanging. So knight e6 or rook takes e6 is the move. Knight e6 check, king just goes somewhere, let's say f7, and I just take an exchange, which is not enough because I'm one piece down to begin with. So it seems that rook e6 is just crushing, and the idea is a cd queen g6 check first and then take the queen, and if queen goes somewhere I take on g6 and it just collapses. So rook e6 and takes, yeah, that's just, really? That one 2 points, this one 1? All right. Knight is undefended, back rank problems, and well, that's it. That's it. What forcing moves do I have? What forcing moves do I have? Just moving the queen to go to c1 or a1. I cannot go to queen to a file. Oh, that's a nice backward move. The knight is undefended and there's a back range problem. Simple geometry. Queen a7 with double threats. Oh, I like this one. I like this one a lot. Yeah, Stockfish doesn't get it, that it's nice. For us, it's quite hard to spot backward diagonal moves, so I appreciate every single one that I see. Okay. Same number of pieces, g6 semi-protected. The king can barely move. And there are some checks with the knight. That is a huge deal very often. All right. Where's my win? Can I go knight g6, pawn g6, rook g8, king g8, queen g6 check? King f8 only move, queen h6 check, rook g7 only move, queen f6 check, king g8 only move, rook e8, king h7 only move, queen h4, rook h5. That would be nice. Knight g6, 8 takes g, rook g8, queen g6, king f8, queen h6, rook g7, queen h8. Ooh, that's a nice geometry. All right. So basically it's just attacking the king because black has all his pieces on the queen side and the king is not so well protected, and g6 is semi-protected. There are two defenders and two attackers. So what forcing moves do I have? Not so many, except knight g6. Everything else are slow moves. I cannot move the rook because e1 needs protection. So knight takes g6 just takes a valuable pawn. Let me see if black has any intermediate moves. e1, but there's nothing to distract my rooks from. And if h takes g, it's rook g8 and mate. Knight g6. Of course, queen e1. Of course. That's why I don't like this one. On chess.com, if you do this puzzle, the line that would ask you would be this one, because this is a human line. Rook 1 to e7 is also winning. Why? What's the threat? Rook g8 is the threat. Okay. So the line you have to calculate is this one. Takes, only queen g6, king f8, only queen h6, rook g7, only queen h8, and then mate on next move. Either this nice mate or this fancy mate. But yeah, queen e1 is technically the best defense, of course. But the point of tactics is to seize the main human defense and then find how you win there. All right, one more. One more, and then I'm gonna play a friendly blitz game with LC0. LC0 had to, you know, Stockfish, when they develop Stockfish, it's immediately very strong. Alpha 0 and LC0 subsequently had to start from the scratch, and so they had to take steps to reach its play against itself many games until it reached its current level. And so I can play with Lila at a weaker stage, because at the highest stage there's no chance, but it's still enjoyable to play against it. So I'm gonna play one friendly blitz game of a Lila which was very low in its development when it played with that strength. All right, so f2 is semi-protected, king is exposed, and the queen does not surprisingly have that many moves. So moving some rook to e3 should decide. Definitely not this one, because rook f8 would be mate. Don't forget about your own problems. But if I use this rook, that also is not working, because rook f8, I have to take, rook takes f8, king takes f8, and now queen takes e3. That's nothing. All right, so all right, I'm tired. Maybe I will not play with Lila. Of course, rook to e3, because rook on f2 is pinned. I thought that rook e3 is a blunder because of mate, but the rook on e2 is pinned, so rook on f2 is pinned. So this rook to e3 and takes, and that's it. 0 points for me. All right, so I'm gonna look for, how do I go there? Let's see, I'm gonna go play, and I'm gonna search the name of Lila human. Let's see, that's the name of the bot. I hope you can see my, yep, that's the one. And I'm gonna challenge it, 3 plus 2, real time, casual game. So it's 1900, so it's not very good, but it's still an engine. So I'm gonna play it now with black, and I hope you will enjoy the game. Can you see the time? You can see both times. Excellent. All right, Lila, e4. Let's go Sicilian. Sicilian, knight c3, and let's go e6. Really? Okay. It's playing so fast. All right. Attack the queen with the tempo. Queen goes to a4. Okay, that's usually not a good way to develop your queen, because after a6, b5, it would run into all sorts of trouble. So I'm gonna try to do it. For now, my rook is undefended, but I can make it work with my next move. Let's say rook to b8. And okay, it would play e5 on next move and run with the queen. So I'm gonna go ahead and play queen c7. I'm stopping the e5. And I'm threatening, I guess, rook b8 and b5. Bishop e3. What if I go rook b8 now? How is Lila gonna stop me? Now e5 works again. Okay. And now knight b5 is on the table. I don't like it. I'm gonna develop my bishop to b4. Now I'm threatening b5, castle. All right. Yeah, I wasn't really threatening b5. My apologies. So if I take, all my dark squares are weak. I don't like it. Is knight b5 a threat? I don't think so. I don't think it's a big deal, at least. Rook pinned to the king. Yeah, thank you. The rook was pinned in the previous one. Okay, so what do I do now? So I take and I should develop. Yeah, I would do that. Just take and develop my knight to e7. I want to block this diagonal so that I'll be able to castle. And what do I do next? I play on the queen side for sure. So I would castle now, which looks a little bit risky. Queen a3, really? So bishop c5 is coming, or e5 is coming. I'm gonna go b6. I need to develop my pieces. Maybe I should have played b5 and let it take my pawn. Bishop to e2. So it's really aiming for my weakness. That's why it's good. Okay, d5. It's time to hit the center because the bishop moved away. Knight takes d5. If bishop was on d3, bishop h7 would be something I would blunder. Ooh, it gives a very good bishop. So I'm gonna take that bishop, but then I lose my d file. I take that bishop and I go bishop to b7. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take bishop to b7, e4. Okay, rook to open file, queen to b2. Now I'm just gonna play h6 to be safe. You never know when a back rank problem appears. My next moves are rook c8. Yeah, let's say rook c8. And then I want to go knight to e5, but b6 is hanging. But I don't really care about that. Knight to e5. Or maybe I should have cared. Should I take on d1? And no, take here. Queen b6. I was planning to use the b file. So I was planning to take and take on e4, but then rook d8 check is coming. Yeah, what you gonna do? Takes, rook takes, bishop takes e4. Yeah, I don't like my position. Rook d8 is coming. I want to take on c3. Can I do that? Can I take on c3? Queen b7, queen c2, king a1. Yeah, I think I am able to do that. Rook c3 should win. All right, so I want to take on c3. Rook d8, I'm gonna take king h7 and enjoy some advantage. And if queen b7, I'm gonna go queen c2. Okay, here I take. I move my king, of course. Bishop to d3. All right, so how do I convert this one? I can go bishop takes e4 and then check and takes, and e5 is now coming. That's the problem. Bishop takes e4 and go to a queen ending, but then c pawn would be quite powerful. Maybe I take the pawn on a4. I think that would be a good idea. Just take that pawn, or maybe now take on e4. Maybe take on e4 now. Queen h4, queen a... Yeah, I take on e4 now. Bishop takes, queen takes. 2 pawns are hanging, queen d7. So how do I convert this one? Just gonna go f5. Just gonna push my hypothetical passed pawn. Yeah, I don't see how I can convert this one. Queen d5. Let's go to a pawn endgame. Would it go? No, it wouldn't. Check. And takes. Why did it go to d2? g1 check. I need some extra minutes. All right. f4. Oh, that was a bad move. Queen e4. Ouch. No, sorry. I plan to go to a pawn endgame. I just need to make sure that I can do it. I'm not in the square. No, I am in the square. That's it. That's all I need to calculate. I am in the square and that's it. Where are you going, Lila? All right. It will not resign. So I would have to move my king. Move my king again. Come on. Come on. It's too late to think. It should resign. Okay, it doesn't have the stockfish has. Okay. Hold on a second. I want to... how do I not promote the queen? I want to... Wait a second. I want to promote bishop and knight and do that, but okay. I don't know how to... I think I could do it. I think I could do it. Wait a second. I'm gonna do it. Bishop and knight, I would see if I remember how to promote bishop, how to give checkmate with bishop and knight. I hope you will enjoy that one. Let me see. Okay, f3. I put the bishop. All right, I'm giving up the queen. And I'm gonna promote the knight. Watch your time, thank you. I will. Let's see if I remember how to bishop and knight. I just remember one thing, what to do. Oh. Yeah, I did a pre-move and apparently it promotes the queen automatically. Sorry guys for wasting our time. I'm not sure what to do now. Okay. I cannot give up the queen anymore. Okay, free lesson how to give checkmate with king and the queen. Enjoy. Okay, so I'm gonna offer a draw. I don't wanna... it's not accepting draw offers. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna give up the queen. I don't wanna spend a few more time doing that. Take my queen, come on. Good girl. Okay. Sorry for that. I really wanted to do bishop and knight against the king. All right, I hope you enjoyed. Take care, stay home, stay safe. Subscribe to my channel, tell your friends about it. If you like what you saw, if you like the way I am doing tactics, feel free to check out my course in the description. And you have a few free previews. If you like what you see, you can purchase it. It's not expensive, like $10–15. And thank you for watching. Take care. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.